Hello everyone and welcome back. I wanted to do a quick video and share with you some clips that will help you catch up on the history if you're not familiar with what's been happening with Alcana and the liquor stores that we just acquired. So if you're an investor of Sundial, you know that you have this other business combination that you need to do some due diligence on, and I don't believe that any of the filings that have been listed, any of the risks, have given you visibility to this information. Now, if you live up in Canada, you probably know all about this, and I would ask you in the comments below, if you live up there, let us know more about what we're about to talk about. Does Sundial have a new problem, or do they have this under control? Let's talk about Alcana and Tate Vander. Let's get straight into it.
The Calgary Police Service is pleased to support this important partnership to help address and prevent the ongoing violent thefts and robberies that occur in liquor stores across the province. In the last 14 months, there were more than 2,400 reported thefts and robberies that took place at liquor stores in our city. This crime trend is one that is not unique to Calgary and has been experienced in several other jurisdictions. Beginning today, 2 of Alcana's liquor stores in Calgary are going to be operating using controlled entrances with the patron scan system. To enter the store, customers will be required to scan valid government-issued identification prior to the door unlocking and gaining access. Last year, Alcana introduced controlled entrances at 4 liquor stores in Edmonton, and the results were extremely remarkable. There was a 94% reduction in product theft and 0 robberies that occurred from January 2020 to January 2021 in stores that had patron scan technology installed. We're extremely thankful for the steps Alcana has taken to prevent violent thefts and robberies by installing these systems in their stores. Alcana is definitely leading the way in liquor store crime prevention by providing this additional layer of safety for employees and customers alike. I'd now like to welcome Tate Vander, President of Alcana, to speak.
So I just wanted to give you a quick reminder of the number of stores that are in Alberta and British Columbia, 170 under the Alcana brand, and also this next video clip, for those of you that listened to the earnings call, but you didn't get a visual, you didn't get to see what Tate Vander looks like, the president of the liquor retail space, this video clip will help give some clarity to that aspect. But don't forget that we didn't hear anything about these robberies or that this was even a problem or had an impact on sales. There's nothing in the SEC filings regarding any of this information. So I would say this is something that you also need to put on your watch list. And we need to ask analysts, why is this not a topic that we're addressing whatsoever? The numbers that are different from the liquor store this year versus last year, the drop in sales, people not coming to the stores, does it have anything to do with robberies or scanning technology turning people away?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tate Vander. I'm the president at Alcana. Today, we are here to launch patron scan in 2 of our Calgary stores. At Alcana, the safety and security of our store teams is paramount and #1 priority for us. The Alberta Association of Chiefs of Police has called for a province-wide requirement of controlled entrances for all liquor stores. We at Alcana are confident that this partnership with CPS to introduce controls entrances in Calgary will show the same drastic reduction in thefts and robberies as our pilot project in Edmonton. Thank you.
So this press conference took place in 2021. So I wanted to make sure I looked at anything available for 2022 to give me some new statistics for that area. In April of 2022, you could see commercial robberies were up from 2021 when supposedly they put some of these controls in place, or at least did a test pilot of these from 19 to 28, 47% increase. And if you scroll down in this report, the executive summary shows that there were 7 homicides for the first quarter of 2022, or a 75% increase from a 5-year average. And I'm also taking a look at commercial robberies, and you can see commercial robberies reached a 6-year high, and it specifically mentions cannabis. But commercial break-and enters were also noted for crimes increased notably in March. So this next portion of the video is the Q&A portion where the reporters get to ask questions, and they're hyper-focused on privacy concerns when using the scanning technology.
Okay, Tom Ross, please ask your question.
Hi there. For whoever can answer this, I'm curious about concerns around privacy concerns, as the Alberta Privacy Commissioner has launched an investigation last year in the Edmonton pilot to make sure that all laws are complied with. Is there anything you can speak to about ensuring that privacy laws are followed with this project?
Sure, I can answer that one. This is Alberio with PatronScan. So the Privacy Commissioner has looked at our technology. We've been in Alberta for over 10 years now. They have looked at our technology in the past. We have always been found to comply. Anytime there has been any recommendations from them, we have always implemented those recommendations. They did start a public investigation into us. This has been now over 15 months. Honestly, we expected this to be done by last summer. Their office did say that they were going to be done by the end of the summer, last summer. We're still waiting to hear back from them, but we have worked with them throughout this. We've communicated with their office more than a dozen times throughout this whole process. We have implemented any recommendations they have made. So I have zero issues, and I truly believe that this is going to come back and they're going to find us compliant, just like we have been every other time they have looked at our technology. But I also should mention that in Alberta, there's legislation as part of the Alberta Gaming, Liquor, and Cannabis Act that allows for licensed premises to scan IDs. And Alcanna is scanning IDs at licensed premises. So there's legislation that specifically allows them to use this technology at what they're doing. The other thing I'll mention on as well is PatronScan is the world's leading provider of ID scanning technology around the world. We are a Canadian firm based out of Alberta, but we have our technology being used throughout North America, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. And the success of this technology is that it keeps the customers and employees safe. Alcanna is just one of many success stories. The success of PatronScan, it would not be possible unless we could assure our clients and their customers that their personal data is secure and that their personal information is never shared nor sold. So in the end of it, we are in the business of protecting patrons, not data collection. Our technology prevents crime and it helps solve crimes. This is why our technology is used at liquor stores, nightclubs, casinos, rental car agencies, hotels, entertainment venues, and basically it's used wherever personal safety or property is at risk.
I wanted to ask CPS whether there's any concerns about privacy bringing this in while this investigation from the Privacy Commissioner is still ongoing.
Sergeant Nick Wilshire of Calgary Police for Crime Prevention. Yeah, we were aware as we went in with this that there is the investigation by the Privacy Commissioner, but we're very happy that as PatronScan have repeatedly over many other instances worked with privacy commissioners. We know that they'll be able to resolve this issue. And for us, our main concern is the actual workers and customers in the liquor stores when these thefts and robberies occur. We've seen security footage that does show not just staff, but also members of the public who just went in to buy their liquor being bear sprayed or beaten by these people who just go into the store and steal as much liquor as they can. And the staff and the patrons, a lot of the times, are just trying to run for cover. They're not trying to stop these people, but this still occurs. So it's a big concern for those individuals who are the victims of crime. That is our sole purpose of really supporting this, is because it's protecting the victims of this crime.
Thank you, Sergeant. Jenna Freeman with Global, please ask your question.
Hi, I'm just wondering if there's any concern about people, just swiping somebody else's ID or a fake ID when they go in. I mean, what's to stop somebody from doing that?
I'll talk a bit about the technology. So the PatronScan technology can detect fake IDs.
And sorry, I'll just follow up with that. What if I just use somebody else's ID, for example?
If you use a valid ID, it will scan through. However, if you do cause a crime, there's the functionality that allows for them to flag your ID. So that next time you scan, it will either block entry or notify somebody.
I'll add some context to this. Our staff also physically verifies and checks IDs while providing service. So if there is a fake ID or someone else's ID is being used, it will be caught at the same time when staff checks for ID. Thank you.
Thank you. Terry from CBC, please ask your question.
Why, it was said last year that that Alcana or Patron Scan would wait until the inquiry was done in order to grow. And this is being done before it is done. Why not just wait? What's the rush to do this when the inquiry is not completed yet?
I'll speak on behalf of the Patron Scan side. We never said that we were going to wait. They have looked at our technology multiple times. We've been in this province for over 10 years. Every single time they have found us to comply. Every other time it hasn't been the public one where it's out in the media, they do it. They investigate it. They look at our stuff. We answer and we provide that information. We've always been found to comply. I should point out once again that there's legislation in Alberta that specifically allows for them to scan IDs and collect the personal information that they are collecting. This is legislation that's been around for over 10 years as well, and allows for them to go forward and use the technology.
What's the long game of this? I mean, this is a test pilot. What's the timeline? What's the hope here of Alcana's a really big company. That's a lot of liquor stores that could possibly have this technology. What is the realistic timeline of expanding into dozens? And I don't know who can answer that, if it's Alcana or Petroscan.
I'll let Alcana speak on behalf of that. Obviously, it's a public
Or Officer Wilshire.
Just to give kind of the police perspective on this as to why we feel the need to move forward, it's because of the victims that we're seeing come from this. Like I say, over and over again, when you watch these security footage, it's quite harrowing to see that there are staff members and members of the public. They're not trying to stop these people from carrying out their theft or their robbery. A lot of the times they're trying to escape, but over and over again, they're being attacked. These are very violent crimes, and the effect that it has on these people afterwards is quite dramatic. Some of them just cannot return back to work, and that's not something that we want to see continue or happen.
To answer the question about how long it will take and what impact it has, I will have Taylor Mann, our Director of Securities at Alcana, answer these questions.
I think Calgary Police really answered that question well as to why time is of the essence. For 2 years now, we've been trending towards a avoidable tragedy here. So we can't sit back and wait for a 15-month investigation while the public safety is at risk. We don't want to disperse crime to two other stores. We want to end it. We're doing it step by step. This is officially phase 2. So the official launch of phase 2 of this pilot. Like you say, we're working with many levels of government to try to get a mandated approach here. We're trying to work with other businesses as well to join this project. So we don't have an actual hard timeline here as to when we're going to expand. But again, we're really trying to work with government to have some sort of mandated approach so we don't disperse the crime, we end it.
Yeah, just to hop off the privacy train, is there any consideration about cannabis stores for police or Alcana, since Alcana does operate cannabis stores? Is there any need for this type of technology for those locations as well?
Absolutely. So nothing's off the table for the future here. We're more than willing to work with other cannabis retailers as different crime trends present themselves. The great thing about this technology is really adaptable in so many different fields.
So after the investigation was complete, the ID scan technology at the Alcana liquor stores was found to collect too much information. Alcana, which operates liquor stores in Alberta, launched a pilot program with the support of the Edmonton Police in 3 stores in January 2020. The program used scanning technology developed by Patron Scan. Customers would scan their government-issued identification to unlock the door into the store. Alcana hoped the program would help reduce theft and said information would only be kept for 90 days unless the customer committed a crime. However, the investigation found that Alcana was collecting and retaining more information than what was allowed under the Alberta's Gaming, Liquor, and Cannabis Act. The act allowed licensed premises like nightclubs and liquor stores to collect names, ages, and photographs. However, the system used by Alcana was also collecting information in the driver's license barcode, which included gender and postal code. So it looks like Alcana's been compliant with all of the investigation requests, all the signage, the postings, and it looks like they've got about 9 locations where these scanners now exist, 7 in Edmonton stores and 2 in Calgary.
What started as a police investigation into the growing trend of liquor thefts has led to a massive liquor bust here in Edmonton, leading to multiple arrests and charges. The Edmonton Police Service says a large amount of stolen alcohol was found, along with a coordinated distribution network that was supplying the stolen liquor to local businesses, such as bars, restaurants, and other liquor stores.
This investigation started with 2 identified prolific suspects that were, and I believe the primary investigator told me yesterday, responsible for about $50,000 worth of liquor thefts. We followed the evidence through, and it showed that there was multiple layers where it would go right up to the top level of distribution and then back into legitimate businesses.
Police have arrested 10 people and say they aim to arrest 4 more suspects, including those business owners involved with the distribution. During multiple search warrants at homes and businesses across the city, about $130,000 of liquor was seized. But that's not all. Police found 350,000 unmarked cigarettes, $73,000 of fentanyl pills, $185,000 of cocaine, and Xanax pills worth more than $5,000.
Liquor theft in itself, maybe that doesn't strike a chord, but this is just one commodity that these criminal networks use. So whether it's theft at construction sites, whether it's like drug trafficking, it's all connected. So it's not just liquor. Then that's why we call it a criminal network. Like, these networks are involved in criminality, and that affects us.
In a statement to City News, AGLC says, quote, AGLC recognizes that retail liquor store theft is a serious issue for many licenses and says they are giving stores additional options for deterring crime at their locations, which includes anti-theft signage, video surveillance, and identification entry systems.
So does Sundial have a new problem, or do they have this under control? I'm going to pass it back over to you guys, and that's all I got. I'll see you in the next video.